Hello everyone, today I have another website that we cracked for you in order to see if it's really worth buying. And today is a special episode because I have a guest. His name is Dom Wells and he's the CEO of Onfolio. Onfolio is a public traded company, and what they do is buying online businesses and operating them. So have a look at their website and what they do, what they acquired. But I was very glad to host Dom to learn more from his experience and what he's done over the years, helping me assess a tutoring platform, which is in an initial look, but actually not quite what we thought at the beginning. So it was really interesting to hear what he thinks and what can be the growth for the website. Let's jump in. Okay, so I asked Dom Wells from Onfolio to join me today. He has vast experience with seeing online businesses, and I'd love to collaborate and see what he thinks about the businesses I am reviewing. So Dom, do you want to start maybe with what you've seen? I sent you the link a little bit before, and then we'll continue discussing that. We have a platform for online tutoring today.
Yeah, so I was checking it out. I haven't done a lot of super extensive research. I'm actually just going to pull up the listing again my end. But yeah, it's an interesting one because at first it seems like, my first thought when I saw it was, okay, it's one of those listings that is, there's a few different businesses out there that I've seen that do the kind of matching between online tutors and students, especially usually they're language based. And so my first thought was,
here's another one.
I didn't necessarily, yeah, my first thought was here's another one, and it only makes about $2,000 a month. So it's definitely not one of the biggest or best out there. And in addition to that, I think a lot of the other ones are venture backed. So it's a pretty competitive space. And this one also is it doesn't really have a niche focus. So normally they are language focused, or they are even more niche, like a specific language like Spanish or English or something like that. And then this
I haven't looked at the profile here, at the keyword profile, so I don't know exactly what they're ranking for, but they do have everything there.
Yeah, it gets interesting there because I've dug in on that a little bit. So in some ways I thought, okay, it's bad that they don't have that niche focus, although in other ways I thought it could be good because that gives them opportunities to try to find a little bit of traction somewhere, like maybe if they can start ranking for something. And so the interesting thing here is kind of just going down the listing as anyone would scroll.
Sure, let's do that.
I thought it was odd that their worst performing month was November, because normally November is the best performing month for a business.
Which one? This one? November?
Yeah, so they normally, they don't have a huge fluctuation, which is good. That's a good sign. But they earned around $2,200 most months of last year. But then in November, they earned $1,700. And then in December, it looks like it ticked up again. So I was thinking, how come November wasn't your best month? And that's when I started realizing they're not really monetizing the tutoring. They're monetizing their traffic from AdSense, basically, and then a little bit of a future foreboding, I guess. They're not really even monetizing their traffic from AdSense. And so when you kind of zoom out a bit and you look at the About This website page, it says, okay, One-on-One today has more than 20,000 registered tutors from all over the world, which can quickly create income by C2C. I'm not entirely sure what C2C stands for, but I'm assuming
it's customer to customer.
Yeah, I figured it was something to do with like B2B, B2C, C2C. Okay.
Do you want to see at the side the P&L? I opened it already.
Is the P&L public information?
Yes, here.
Okay.
So interesting thing is that first of all, they did publish it on Empire Flippers, or they took the template from them.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I don't know if this, it's another thing. And then these are the numbers. So let's look at the last numbers. And at first glance, what I don't like about this one is that everything is round numbers. Usually you see those that are not round, so it makes it more real. So I wonder why they had to do that, why they didn't put the effort in this. If you're selling a business, you really want to put the effort in, you know, making it work. So maybe they don't need the money that much. Maybe it's like, you know, they're trying. I don't know. That's my hunch there. And what you said about the AdSense there, it's about 10% of the income here. Even if you're moving to smarter ad networks, it will be a very tiny increase. I'd say another $20, $30, $40.
Well, how much traffic do they have?
So it says here page views here at the bottom, but we can look at here what they're saying. Well, what is it? Here. Now revenue page views.
Looks like...
Oh wait, I'll go to the graph. It's here at the bottom.
Yeah, it has it on Flipper as well, but I don't know over what time period that is. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's about $70,000 a month, which, yeah, I guess around $200, $300.
P&L is different. P&L says it's 3,000. See here, page views. Something is funky about this P&L.
I think he hasn't filled that out right, because Flipper is pulling it from Google Analytics, and it says
yeah, right.
It's about 70,000 unique visits, and page views would be about double that, or about 1.5 that.
And also the traffic is from Taiwan and not from, you know, US and, you know, Western countries. So it's not worth as much in terms of ads.
You're not going to be able to use Mediavine or something because it's not US. And then if you used eZoic, you probably wouldn't see much increase. So not really an opportunity there. But what I don't like is that the majority of the revenue is coming from guest posts. So basically, it's almost like a link farm. So people are just emailing them saying, "Hey, can I buy a guest post or a backlink on your site?"
Right.
And he's making like $1,500 a month from that, which means he's probably publishing at least 10 to 15 guest posts a month. So that means the site is probably going to be pretty poor quality in terms of the
Does that still work in 2024? It used to work, and then I think now Google doesn't like these things. I might be wrong, but what do you think?
It's less effective, but I mean, it's still
content.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a good site, this site's not great anyway. It's got like a low DR and authority and so on. The other interesting thing is, so as I scrolled down, this is where I started realizing, hold on, the business as it's kind of presented is not really the business that it really is. And so the top organic keywords, my Chinese isn't good enough to be able to read all of them, but it was good enough to kind of be like, wait, what kind of keywords are they ranking for? And normally when you see a site ranking for like Chinese or Japanese keywords, it's spam. And in this case, it's not spam, it's legit articles. But for example, the top organic keyword it says it's ranking for is basically that is sewing technique. It means like sew clothes is the first group of characters. And then the next long one basically says, what is the current best way to make money online? And then the third one is bowling, like 10-pin bowling, like bowling technique.
Sounds like it's all over the place.
Yeah, the next one.
Are you looking at Ahrefs, the platform? Ahrefs is a platform for keyword research.
Yeah, I'm looking at, well, I was looking at it. Flipper pulls it from SEMrush, and then I went into Ahrefs to do my own research. But essentially, but it's not spam, it's like legit content. So they've written an article in Mandarin, and it's traditional Chinese, so it's only going to get traffic from Taiwan and Hong Kong, which is why those are the top traffic sources. But it's basically just an article in Mandarin about how to make money online. And so it's not really relevant for a tutor blog, and it's certainly not relevant for a business, which is basically, it's presenting itself saying, hey, we're a platform for tutors to connect with students, and there's 20,000 tutors, you've got loads of opportunity, but how the business is making money is writing blog posts about in Mandarin about a whole range of things and then just selling backlinks. So it's there's a huge disconnect between what the business is presenting itself as and like what it actually is. It's basically just a link farm.
Seems to me like the blog posts are aimed more towards the tutor to put their names in there and attract them. So like how to make money online, and not so much for the students. And again, as you said, it doesn't make money from the students who are ordering those or booking those classes. It's mainly through those blog posts.
Yeah. And it's interesting because, for example, the rankings about sewing and the rankings about bowling, that actually does fit. It's a shame that it's in Mandarin instead of English, but it does fit the brand. It's like, you want to learn how to bowl, find a bowling tutor. You want to learn how to sew, find a sewing tutor. So there's probably a bunch of blog content about soccer and golf and all these things, but it's kind of weird that they're publishing this blog in Mandarin, attracting all this blog traffic from Taiwanese and Hong Kong people who maybe don't even speak English, and then they're coming to a website where it's like all about English and global, and it's like a tutoring site. So it's like, okay, what you should probably do is either do a blog in English, or
no blog in English
here? Being,
I wonder.
I don't know. There might be, but it's kind of like, why are you publishing stuff in Mandarin? Oh, okay. There's an English blog and a Mandarin blog. But I think, hold on, let me go to the Mandarin blog. I feel like
it's all the way at the bottom. Yeah, I see that.
It's just 101 today /blog. Actually, the default is Mandarin. I don't think there's any call to actions or anything. Like if a Mandarin speaker reads the blog, they're just going to read the article and leave. There's no conversion from, what they should maybe do is say, okay, we've got 100,000 page views a month from mostly Mandarin speakers. The way to make money off this business is to maybe convert it to a Mandarin tutor marketplace. And Taiwanese people love signing up for new sports, and they love collecting hobbies and being like, I'm going to learn golf and I'm going to pay someone to teach me. So it feels like there could be an opportunity there to actually
do something.
Just go all in on Mandarin, or put more effort into English. But I think English is a very competitive space, and they've got that Mandarin traffic already. But I think at the moment it's kind of like you've got all this Mandarin traffic on a site that helps you connect with tutors in English, and then they've got 20,000 tutors. Now I'm starting to wonder, where are those tutors? Do any of them speak Mandarin? Do any of the students are there any students coming? I don't know if there's data on how many, actually he does mention it somewhere, like how many tutors are actually getting business from this site. How many of these 20,000 tutors are real?
He needs to put reviews of them. Look at that. It's really a link farm.
Average engagement.
Look at this one.
The average engagement's 14 minutes, which I find that hard to believe as well.
Hey everyone, I hope you're enjoying this video. Please like and subscribe, and let's move on to the rest of the listing review.
Okay.
There are some unrelated posts on the English one. See how to improve your credit score quickly. So they got paid to put this one here, and it's unrelated. So let's say, considering all these drawbacks, what kind of valuation will you give? The current one is at a multiplier of 34, which is at the higher end of the current market. So it's around 2,000 times 34. It's around that $66,000. I wonder if there is a decent valuation, and what would you do to fix everything here? What would you focus on for growth?
Yeah, it's a tough one. On the one hand, I feel like you could probably just keep operating the business and make money selling links if you really wanted to, and you might get a decent ROI, because as long as there's people consistently coming back to buy links off you, if you've only paid 2.8x or 34 monthly or whatever, and the traffic seems fairly stable, maybe you just continue making money that way. That would be the easiest thing to do. The easiest way to run the business. Of course, there's risk that people stop buying links, or you get hit by a Google update. I don't know how are people finding you to buy links. But it could be just simply like, look, call a spade a spade. This isn't a tutoring business. This is a link farm, but maybe it's quite a lucrative one. If I wanted to come and actually build a real business off it, I would want to know actual data about the tutors, like how many people are any tutors real? And if they're real, are any of them actually having conversations with potential students? Are there actually transactions taking place between students and tutors? I'd probably go all in on Mandarin, because for me that's
learning Mandarin or the Mandarin website.
That's a good question. The Mandarin website, yeah, because the traffic is something like 90% of the traffic is people reading Mandarin articles. So I would be like, what's the best thing I can do for these people? Can I try and connect some of these people with, are these people actually looking for tutors? Can I monetize that? To be honest, for me, I wouldn't buy it for anything, but I think for someone it could be
there's some kind of valuation. Okay, 34 or 66,000 is too much. Maybe a third of the price. I just, thinking out loud here. Because then the multiplier will be really low, and then you have the turnover time. Then if you focus only on the Mandarin side, and we're focusing on tutors in Taiwan for now, and then maybe in China as well, if the website is not blocked there. But let's say only Taiwan. Will that make it worthwhile?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I think the more you can stack the deck in your favor, the better. I wonder if these tutors are... I mean, it's interesting. They've got no reviews, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. But it's certainly not a good thing, is it?
Yeah, I wonder if they're real, as you say. I mean, there's nothing there. Or maybe you just added that, and then who knows, it's just too early. It's something to ask the seller for sure.
I mean, should be able to find out if these people are real.
I don't know if you saw what he wrote here, and he had it somewhere on his social media posts, saying that he can promote venues on the website. I'm not sure what he had in mind when saying this, but I don't know why he thought it's viable, to be honest. Like these spaces. See, these are spaces. I think so. See, this is a co-working space. Excuse me. So this is a link to their website. Maybe they paid for that.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at some of these tutors. I mean, they seem legit. Like, this person Xingao Wei, I don't know why. I mean, her location is Kobe in Japan, and then also Shanghai. But she's written in simple Chinese, which is what someone from Shanghai would do. And then this Jia Yuan Shi is the top one.
You're looking at the Mandarin one? I'm not looking at the right.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, page. I'm on Find Tutors / Chinese Lesson. So there's one called, well, it's spelled Jia Yuan Shi, and
it's here. See my screen? Yeah, it's here. This one. Okay, my name is Marianne.
So the Mandarin says that she's from Kaohsiung, and then when you look at her profile, it says the name of the university she went to is a Kaohsiung university, and I'm not seeing any obvious signs that the people are fake, and I'm sure putting them into LinkedIn or Facebook and stuff would find them. So yeah, I think they're probably legit tutors. I doubt they get any actual business, because most of the traffic is coming from people searching stuff in Mandarin. They're not going to be searching for Chinese tutors, but there might be English tutors out there that are getting more success. So I really think it's tough, because if you take the business at face value and be like, oh, this is a tutoring business, that's how it's being built, but you're essentially probably starting almost from scratch if that's what you want to try and build out. Because the way it's making money is just, like you say, just selling guest posts. And the traffic it gets, I don't know if they're interested in tutors. And so that's probably what I would do first. I would try and dig in and be like, how many people are looking for tutors? How many people are actually messaging tutors? How many tutors are actually getting work? I think in his listing somewhere, he says he doesn't have that data, which probably means it's a big fat zero.
Yeah, he does say that. I read it earlier.
But I mean, everything about his listing seems legit. Yes. There's no red flags from the ambiguity of his answers or anything like that. So
just the way he built it. So it's genuine how the way it's built. There was nothing there to deceive or do anything. It's just that there's still this attachment between in the business model just doesn't make sense, and you need to change that for growth.
Exactly. It could be a nice business to own and cash flow and stuff, but I wouldn't kid yourself and think you can buy like this and tell people you bought a tutoring website because I don't think that's really what it is. That's how it was built, but that's not the business model. So
you can buy it to funnel to another business, though. Depends what the traffic is, of course, and then do something with that. So kind of an M&A, merger and acquisition strategy somehow. If the best keywords are how to make money online, then maybe you can put affiliate ads to these kind of products there. But again, you're moving from the tutoring theme there.
I mean, there could be some digital products you could sell. There are Mandarin. It doesn't have to be Mandarin, but that's where my head keeps going. There are, lots of people in Taiwan want to learn how to make money online, just like the rest of the world. So you could build a funnel around that and pivot the business into something else. That would be a fun project for someone, and someone could buy it and do really well out of that. But there's a lot of risk with that, because basically you're just buying a little bit of a head start, but essentially you're building a different business by doing that.
Right. Did he say how long the business exists? 7 years. Okay, not crazy, but nice sum for in internet years. So it's not a one year business website, and it still works. Yeah,
that's very true. I mean, it's definitely not a scam. It's just probably not what it's presenting itself as being.
Look, how many watchers people want to buy this? I don't know how long that listing is here.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's been reduced by 38%. So there's a lot of watchers, but no buyers, I think. I think a lot of people probably see the Mandarin and get put off. They don't dig any further than that. But Mandarin,
it will be for people that are not US centric and think what to do with that. People live in Asia, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Any last comments? Any thoughts before we finish?
I think it would be a good acquisition for someone who is probably bilingual in Mandarin and English, and understands info products and some of the things we've talked about, and is looking for a kind of hobby or like a side hustle that they can make money from through basically selling links and the same thing it's been doing, knowing that there's potential for them to pivot the business and turn it into something else, but that they need to understand what the business is versus what it's trying to be. For everybody else, it's probably a pass.
Cool. Okay. So we narrow down for the right audience, and also the valuation, I'd say, probably reduced significantly because there is a risk there. Probably at least a half.
I mean, if you could get it for 30 grand, maybe I'd buy it because I need more distractions in my life. But yeah,
we all.
At the right price, I think it could make sense.
Okay. Tom, thank you so much for joining. It was great. I'm glad to learn from your experience, and I'll see you online. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Cool. I hope that was helpful for you to analyze and review future websites and learn more of how you can buy your first digital asset. Thank you, Dom, for joining, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.